I have the privilege of speaking to you on behalf of everyone here in the Ozarks. First, let me start with second trip to Springfield. What's important? What's so good about Springfield?
Well, we're here really for Josh, who's just fantastic. And he's a real star and a great person. And he's got our views and opinions and our heart. And he has the heart of the people. And you see the kind of crowd we have. I guess there's a lot. There's like 20,000 people outside. Have you seen what's going on outside?
Actually, it's more like 30,000+ people in this arena.
She corrects me in the right way.
It's a huge
No, I looked
crowd
outside. I can't believe it. It's
coming out of the woodwork, and there's only a certain amount that can get inside. So I was saying we're going to have mass riots in the streets because people here are just staunch supporters.
That is so nice.
They really do believe in the message and what your administration has taken care of. Really do. So to that effect, if you could talk to the people in the Ozarks, I know you were here at Lauren Cook last year. As I was explaining to Sarah, we do have some manufacturing companies here in the Ozarks that have some concern about the exemptions for the tariffs. And one being a nail company in Poplar Bluff.
In fact, we're looking at that specific company right now for an exemption. We are actually looking at that, and I'd like you to talk to me about that later. But specifically, because there are some countries that got caught up. What we're doing with tariffs is a fantastic thing. Your steel companies are coming back. Your aluminum companies are coming back. The jobs, everything else, it's incredible. Actually, what's happened to the steel industry in the United States is the talk all over the world, and we need a steel industry. That's not like some other industry that is not necessarily important. Steel is steel. You need it for defense, military, everything else. And our steel industry is coming back. We're tariffing. You know, if you really take it, we're taxing the dumping. They were dumping massive amounts, China and other countries, massive amounts of steel all over the place, putting everybody out of work. Our steel companies are just coming back. It's a beautiful thing to see, and you're seeing it even here.
Absolutely, and that's why I've been charged with asking you specifically about our region of the Midwest.
Okay.
There is another air conditioning company who's finding it less expensive to have the air conditioning units made in China and then shipped back here because he can't get what he needs as far as the parts, and so he's concerned about laying off workers and such. What would you say to somebody in that position running their small business? Well,
we have some people in that position, but ultimately I'd rather make the air conditioners here, make the parts here, have it be a little more expensive, but also have the jobs. In other words, we'll have the jobs. So the unit may be a little bit more expensive, but we're going to make the unit here instead of having it made in China like we used to do in the old-fashioned days when the country made a lot of money, not like it has been over the last years. So between that and also trade deals, we're renegotiating these horrible trade deals. NAFTA was a disaster. You got hit hard by NAFTA. Everybody did. And we've just made a deal with Mexico, which is a wonderful deal. It's good for Mexico, too. It has to be good for both. But what we were doing with NAFTA was a disaster. Millions of jobs, thousands of companies leaving. And so we're doing a lot, just a lot. We're doing a lot. And as you know, GDP is up to 4.2. Nobody thought that was possible. They thought maybe in 8 years, but not in a year and a half. And I think you're going to see it go higher even. And I think you could even see it go much higher. We have tremendous potential. But we're starting to make our own product again. But I would rather, in the case that you just brought, I'd rather make it here, let it cost a little bit more, but have jobs. So much better.
Right, and that's part, again, the tariffs and those issues that they're waiting in line for those exemptions. And so what can we say to these American workers and small business owners in regards to these exceptions? Backlogging, they're saying it's supposed to be a 90-day process, but it's taking longer. What assurances can
Don't forget, when we start giving the exemptions, that means we'll never make that product here. When you don't give the exemption, then they say, oh, wow, and now you're forced to make the product here. You understand? Once I say, okay, you have an exemption, now you're not going to make the product here because there's no reason to, because you can order it over from China or someplace. So it's a very fine edge, but I am giving exemptions for certain companies that really need them, and we are looking at that one company.
This is something that's also hits really hard in this part of the country because we have the working poor, and health care is an issue, especially when you've got a family who are essentially on paper working poor but make too much by federal standards to get Medicaid or any other kind of benefits for their disabled child. What you've had, we talked about repealing Obamacare. We talked about getting all that taken care of. Josh Hawley wants to keep pre-existing conditions. Should the Republicans hold on to the House and the Senate, you plan to move forward with any changes on health care? What can we expect?
100%, and we're making it so it's very, very much more affordable. And what we've actually done, we've really taken Obamacare apart. We are keeping pre-existing conditions. Many, many people are keeping, of the ones I am keeping, and Josh is keeping, pre-existing conditions. We think it's important. But what we're doing, we got rid of the individual mandate on Obamacare, and we're coming up with some incredible plans. Now, we're taking care of everybody much better. Also, the remnants of Obamacare, we're keeping the cost down. Remember, Obamacare used to go up 116% to 125%. Through a lot of good, talented work, we're keeping it way, way down. So I don't know if Obama's going to get the credit. I think we should get the credit. But frankly, we're keeping the increases way down, the premiums. So we're doing a lot, and in a fairly short period of time, we're going to have something very special.
What do you want your legacy to be? At the end of your presidency, whether it's a 4-year term or an 8-year term, what do you want the children 10, 15, 20 years down the road to read in their history books about President Trump?
It's such a great question. And I literally, it sounds like a pretty basic question. I don't think I've been asked that question for a long time, so I love it. Make America great again. That's what I'm doing. Make America great again. Those questions were so great about manufacturing and about this and that and exemptions. We're going to make America great again. It's already happening. And we're making America great by putting America first. We have been ripped off by every country in the world. Enemies, allies, it didn't matter. European Union is brutal to us. You think of the European Union, so nice. Mexico, Canada. Canada's brutal to us. You know, Canada has 300% tariffs on dairy products. I'm all about a lot of things, making America great again. With that being said, I think we've done very well in foreign policy. If you remember, before I came in, it looked like we were going to be war with North Korea. Now we're getting along very nicely, and it's moving along. Beautiful process.
You talk to Kim yourself?
I do talk to him.
Is he kind of,
Well, I get along, honestly, I just know. I get along with him really well. It started off a little bit on the rough side, you would say. Yeah. But I get along with him well, and that's good for us. I mean, you know, we don't need wars. And so I think our foreign policy is really good. But for me, it's make America great again.
Are you concerned that perhaps maybe the voters aren't going to come out because you are doing such a great job and because the Republican Party is holding their own? Are you concerned with the voters maybe just being complacent and saying, hey, someone else will take care of it?
And the word is complacent, because that would be the only reason. Look, we have the greatest economy that we've ever had. And honestly, if you want to keep it, you can't have the Democrats get in. You have to vote for Josh Hawley. You have to vote for, really, Republicans. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. It's going to go back. We're up 55% since my election. 55 on average. I mean, some companies are through the roof. Jobs are, you know, at records for everybody. African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, everybody. If you want to blow it, then be complacent. If you want to blow it, vote for a Democrat, and you'll see those numbers go way, way down. Your wealth will go way down. So I really think we're going to do very well. I hope so.